Hi, I'm Bree with Kaivala Yoga, and this is Steve.
Hi.
And today we are going to be talking about observation without judgment and what that means. And we're going to be doing a little breathing exercise, and we'll give you a little bit of homework too. So might as well get started. So a lot of times people go about their day and they go in their busy lives and they're working and they have trouble concentrating. Do you feel like that ever?
Oh,
Yeah.
most of the time.
Most of the time. I do as well. And observation without judgment is entering into a state of meditation. And meditation is when you are thinking without your lizard brain. And what your lizard brain is a part of your brain that is for fight or flight. For when you see that saber-toothed tiger, you want to raise your cortisol and you want to run. Well, in today's society, we have so much cortisol raising inputs in our lives. We're always stressed, always worried. We're worried on the way to work because someone's going too slow, or we're going to be late, or we need to get home to watch the game, or anything like that. So the lizard brain is in charge of three things. It's in charge of your three F's, which are fear, food, and procreation. And so what these are is they're labels. So labels and judgments for fear is if you go into a dark room, we assume that we're supposed to be afraid of it because of movies that we've watched, or that's people tell us not to go into a dark alley, and so that's a label. Or food, if you see a brownie, you look at it and you think, I shouldn't eat that. Or procreation, you see a model on TV and she looks a certain way and you think, that's who I want to procreate with. But is that really who we want to procreate with? Or is that's what we're labeling her? That's what our judgment in our own head, our lizard brain is telling us, that's who I need to procreate with. So to get out of that thinking, we need to observe our world without any judgment. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little practice. So for the viewers at home, if you are sitting in your living room, or if you're at a coffee shop watching your computer, I invite you to take time to sit. We'll uncross our legs, sit straight, and we're just going to observe what we see. So kind of connect to your breath. Look around where you're sitting and notice the things that you see every day, that you walk by and you don't really take the time to notice. So for example, I'm not at home, but if I saw this plant every day, I look by and I say, that's a fern and it's green. But if you really focus on it and you look at it, the edges are different of the plant. There's different shades of green. You can see the microfibers, the little veins in the plant. There's so many things that we walk past that we don't really notice. And what this is doing is training our brain to focus on one thing at a time. So instead of sitting on your couch looking at your TV and you're just looking at everything as a whole, your brain is taking in all those things at one time and you're multitasking all the time. So you know how you're on your phone and it's going really, really slow and you get all frustrated at your phone. And what's wrong with my phone? I need a new phone, AT&T this or T-Mobile that. But really it's because you have all those tasks going on in the back end of your phone, and all you have to do is end the tasks and then start over, and then it's fast and it works. So what this is doing when you're focusing on one thing is turning off all those other things that's going on in your brain so you can actually get something done. So how I think of it is like when I'm playing with my daughter and she's 5. If we're sitting there and we're playing and I'm thinking about dinner and I'm thinking about having to make lunches for the next day and their homework, and I'm thinking about we need to get ready for gymnastics and all the things that I have to do as a mom, but then I'm playing with her, I'm not really there. I'm actually thinking about everything else that I'm doing and I'm not present whatsoever. So if I don't consciously tell myself when I go to sit there with her to be in the present moment and to observe her without any judgments, then that's how I can be with her, and I notice her smile, and I notice the tone of her voice, and I notice if she's feeling sad or if she's really excited or if she's laughing and it's genuine, it's a belly laugh, or if it's sort of fake and she's just trying to make me feel good. And I can really take in that moment and just see who she is. And that's so beautiful. There's so many things that you can do that with in your life and really see what's going on. And then secondly, if we listen. So if we sit there and we're listening to, well, I can come back to that example. Listen to her tone of her voice, or listen to the way she talks to someone versus someone else. Or if you're in a busy location, let's say, well, even if you're at your house and you're sitting and watching this episode and you have your family going around in the background, instead of listening to one particular sound, if you listen to it all as a whole and sound and the tones of certain things, it almost sounds like an orchestra, like everything flows together in all the noise, and you can really like hone in on people, or the sound of someone walking on the floor, or the sound, as I'm sitting here, I can hear the back of my chair, and that before I would have never noticed that. So it's really interesting if you actually just take it all in. So
you're saying your mind is preoccupied in kind of the normal state, and we should, instead of projecting into what we want to be doing or should be doing,
right,
we're really paying attention to what we are doing.
Right. And like you and I talked about before, is most of our lives were spent thinking about the future or thinking about the past. And how much time are we actually in the now? And I mean, I keep comparing it to my kids because that's what's closest to me. But just the other day, I'm looking at a picture of my daughter and she's 1 year old. And I'm thinking, time goes by so fast. I wish I could redo her life. And it's like, how many moments did I miss out on because I was thinking about, I can't wait until she's old enough to walk. I can't wait till she's old enough to ride her bike. I can't wait till she can talk. And, and now I'm like, I miss when she couldn't talk. And now she talks all the time.
But you're thinking so much about the future, about things to come.
Right.
And like when I was a kid, when we were kids, we're thinking about, my 13th birthday, or when I'm old enough to drive. So your life is on hold until you can do those things.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
It's always pushing everything into the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And one thing too is, how many people do you know that talk to a teenager that say, I wish I could go back or enjoy it because it goes by too fast. But as a teenager, you're like, I just want to be grown. I just want to be able to tell myself what to do. I want to be able to have my own job. And then now that you have responsibility, you're like, would have been nice to be able to come home from school and do whatever I want and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So there's so many, and even with people's careers, I feel like they're always trying to make it to the next step. They're always trying to, which is great, but they forget to enjoy the journey and forget to really appreciate how beautiful that is. I mean, it's hard work to get to the top, and to really give yourself credit and to really just make yourself feel special for being in that journey and for working hard. And so I think that's really important, not just in our whole lives, but just in every single moment. Really take it in and being in that very present moment. And by doing this, that's how we're entering in a state of meditation. And a lot of times people assume that meditation is sitting on the floor and saying for hours. And fortunately for us, because we have jobs and we have lives and families, that meditation doesn't have to be that. And you can be meditating while you're brushing your teeth, or while you're sitting here and looking at the plant, or while you're at home watching this show, or on your computer watching this show. Notice how your body feels. Is your phone on? Are you checking your phone while you're listening to this? Are you thinking about other things? And that is entering into your lizard brain. So I know meditation right now is like a huge kind of buzzword. And people say, oh, I can't do that. I can't meditate. I can't sit still. I can't think about nothing. And that's not what it is. That's not what it's about. It's just about being in the present. And when thoughts come to your head and to your mind, just recognize them and acknowledge them and let it go. And that's all you have to do. And it's just like a muscle. You got to train it. And then eventually it becomes easier and easier.
I've read that meditation isn't clearing the mind of all thoughts. It's observing those thoughts and letting them go where they go.
Exactly.
Without, like you're saying, without judging that.
Right.
Okay.
And without judging yourself, because people get stuck in their lizard brain and they say, like I sat here for 5 minutes and I try to think about nothing and then everything comes to my mind. And then like, I can't do that. But that's creating judgment on yourself, and just being kind with yourself, recognizing that, maybe you only have to do 2 minutes or maybe you just do 30 seconds.
So in the lizard brain, we think we have to do something. It's a fight or flight, so we think when we're operating from that something has to be happening, that we have to be, standing up and doing this or getting away from it. And when you get away from that, you learn that nothing has to happen.
Right. Being okay with just being present. Yeah. And that's so beautiful, because no one really is like that. They have to be, there are people, but it's very rare. They're always busybodies. So let's take a moment, and we are going to sit and focus on our breath. So sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. And as you breathe, and I encourage everybody to do this at home as well, breathe in through your belly and then up through your heart and out through your heart and out through your belly. Notice how the body changes shapes when you breathe. Has that been something you've ever noticed before? it's not uncommon that people go their entire lives and never really focus on their breath, something that keeps them alive. Your breath can calm you. Your breath can make you anxious. It's so powerful. And if we just connect to it, we can be a part of that power instead of letting it control us. Have you ever thought about what the breath looks like inside your body? Or envisioned it going in through your nose and out through your nose? Or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth? Or just breathing in through your mouth and out through your mouth? Lots of different variations. Just take a moment and observe your breath. Gently open your eyes. And what we're going to do is take a pen and paper and write down everything. Just take maybe a minute or two and write down everything that you were thinking while you were doing this. Everything you were feeling. Write down your judgments. I know, for example, when I first did this exercise, I thought, when is this silence going to be over? This is awkward. What am I doing? I breathe all the time. Why do I have to notice it? So just write down everything that you are feeling and be completely honest with yourself. We'll just take a minute. Okay, and if you'd like longer, go ahead and pause this video, or that's fine, but we're gonna keep going on. So, Steve, what were you experiencing?
Well, I was noticing in my body some tightness in different areas, in my neck, and then I was noticing the rise of my belly and how it would tighten sometimes when it got to the top of the breath, and then letting it go. And it seemed like at the top of my breath and on the exhale, it would somewhat tighten up. And I was also sensing a lot of things on the body, a little bit of chill in the room, on the back of my neck. So, and then I was really paying attention that, like you said, well, when's this going to get over with, and just feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, what am I doing?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I felt same, belly expand. I kind of noticed that when I breathed in really hard through my nose, it would get cold. And then I was having doubt. I thought, how long should I have people sit here? And then I thought, is anyone actually watching? And I thought, what if people are laughing at us? And then I thought, who cares if people are laughing at us? We're doing our thing. So there's so many judgments that go on, and that's fine. Recognizing your own judgments is bringing awareness and being mindful in that moment. But did you feel like your judgments were fogging your ability to be present?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I was thinking about all these things happening and not about what was happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think that if we were able to train our brain enough to be fully present, do you think that we'd be able to experience more?
What would that mean? Am I stepping outside myself and just observing the brain doing this, or am I separating myself from what I'm doing? Or
Well, let's see. If while we're sitting here, if you were able to not have any judgments whatsoever, not about how long we're going to sit here, not about if people are laughing, but just totally concentrate solely on your breath. That's exactly what the exercise was, even though it's so hard to get there. Do you think that we would be able to really be able to experience that exercise? And then if you took that outside of this exercise, really being able to experience my daughter in that moment, or really being able to experience having a lunch date with your wife, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Without thinking about
what has to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
All the other
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But being aware, just being aware of all the stuff that's going on is huge. So this is really good stuff. So as some homework, and for everybody out there listening too, I encourage everybody to sit in a busy location. So it's difficult here, but if I like a coffee shop, right? Or even sitting at one of the tables at a mall where people are walking by, and sit there and just observe what is. So don't make any judgments like, oh, I like what she's wearing today, or that girl's hair looks good, or whatever. Just notice what is. So notice color. Notice how fast people are walking, how slow. Notice the interactions between people. Notice the smells. Maybe if you're in a coffee shop, that's going to be a strong aroma. Notice the sound, and like I said earlier, not just one particular sound, but all the sounds together, and what kind of melody does that make, right? So it's really fascinating. You pick up so much more than just sitting there. And make sure your phone's off, guys. You can't have your phone on. And just see what it does for you. And then after that, just write your thoughts. See how you felt, your judgments, and then write down the things that you noticed. How, like I said, fast people were walking. Did you see that couple seem very in love? Did they seem like they were new? And granted, that's a judgment, but it's all bringing awareness to what is.
Seeing the forest through the trees, seeing the trees through the forest, instead of seeing the forest.
Exactly.
You see the individual things.
Exactly.
And take your observation to a different level.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's so much to be seen, and it's almost exciting. Like, I just want to go, like a forest, I just want to go out there and look at it and just be. So that's really cool. So just to kind of wrap things up, feelings and judgments stem from our lizard brain. And that is the fear, the food, and the procreation. So the purpose of all of this is to isolate your thoughts to one thing at a time, to turn off the multitasking and to focus on what is and be present in your body and with your loved ones, in the public, and everywhere you are. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm present.
Excellent. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be present today, and we'll see you next time.